Hi guys, welcome to Sim Captain. Gonna be the first Q&A video of 2018. I'm departing Philly, runway 35. We've just taxied up to the runway. We're all ready to go. Checklist done. Everything is set. We are going to Springfield, Massachusetts, Barnes Municipal. I just chose it because I've never been there. That's one of my things. I like to just constantly fly to airports I've not been to. So we're ready to go. Brakes are released. And we'll have a little chat in the air. Oh, I gotta stop for a second. Set the brakes. Alright, brakes are released. Alright, lights and strobes are on, pumps are on, flaps are set, trim is set. Approach looks clear. There's no traffic, so I'm not going to make an advisory. Starter switches are on, yaw damps off, gear selectors down, lights are tested. Let the cabin know we're going. Landing lights, I already got that. We're good, and flight controls one last check are free and correct. Alright, here we go, 40% power, sync up the engines, everything looks good. We're going to takeoff power. Takeoff power is set. The airspeed is alive. There's 80 knots. We'll cross check. Engines look good. Here comes V1, VR, and positive rate. Gear up. Gears in transit. We got a stable climb. 400 feet above the ground, flaps coming up. Gears up, lights are out. Flaps are retracted and indicated. We'll turn the yaw dampener on. We'll gauge the autopilot. Straight out. Up to 5,000. Auto throttle's armed and engaged. 250 knots below 10. And we're going to start our turn to the Yardley VOR. And if I was talking to departure, they would clear me up to 12. So I'm going to climb to 12. And now that we're on our way, and we'll be monitoring our climb, I wanted to start the Q&A. I have gained a lot of subscribers, almost 40 subscribers recently, and I'm really thrilled to see that, and I really appreciate it because, I mean, I have monetized my channel, so you might see ads, and I don't do this to make money, but the idea that I could get a small return for the time and effort I do put into making videos, you know, helped encourage me. Though I did just receive an email from YouTube that they are going to be demonetizing my channel because I do not meet their new requirements to be monetized, which is 1,000 subscribers and a minimum of 4,000 viewing hours, and I don't believe I have either of those by a long shot. So this is only affecting small channels like me. It's not like they're taking it away from me, they're just making it harder on me to earn anything from this. But it's not going to deter me. I'm going to continue making my videos, and hopefully I will get to their threshold of 1,000 subscribers and the viewing hours needed, and I can begin trying to earn a little bit of a return back. It really wasn't much. I mean, since I started this channel, I've only accumulated like $80 in my AdSense account. I do not have a Patreon account. I don't think it was worth it because I'm not really, again, not doing this for money. So, you know, I was just about to get my first payment because you have to get to $100 before they'll pay you. When I find out they're going to turn that off. So I'm not real happy with YouTube. We're passing 10. We're going to turn the landing lights off, pumps are off, and we're going to continue to our climb of 290. And now that we're above 10, we'll accelerate. So I'm not real happy with YouTube. I don't think they do enough to support the little guy. I feel like in the beginning they were much better, but they just, now they bow down to advertisers and, you know, corporate sponsors, and now they have television, and the platform has changed. I mean, I still like it, and I'm still a viewer, but I don't know, just they just making it harder on the little guy, and I certainly am a little channel, and maybe they have to do that. I can try and understand. But anyway, back to the Q&A. That was my complaining session. Thank you to all the new subscribers. I really want to hope and work towards growing this channel so I can get to that 1,000 subscriber threshold. I'm not going to shout out everybody's name who's a subscriber. I don't know if you would even want me to. But there were some questions and comments I did want to address. A new subscriber, Kev. I did look at your videos, and it looks like you have a good start to a Simpit. You got the major essentials, which are your pedals and your yoke and your throttles all set up in good positions. Good luck with your build. I appreciate if you think I'm helpful at all. Robert Rustenbeck commented, "Is there a video where I discuss all of my hardware?" Well, weirdly enough, the video you commented on, I think, is my video where I pretty much discuss the hardware I have. If you have some more specific question, please feel free. You know, sometimes I don't really know what to do with my channel, so that's why I just keep doing the Friday Night Ops videos. So please, ask questions. Tell me what you want to see or what you're interested in about my setup. And I do try and answer everybody. I'm sure I've missed a few, and I apologize. But I do try and get back to everybody. So if you give me specific questions, I'm happy to do my best. One thing I can't help with is software. I don't know much about software, and I have plenty of problems on my own. Actually, there's one comment about the lag they saw in one of my videos, and you know, that's one of the issues I have sometimes. A lot of nice compliments, and I appreciate everyone who makes nice compliments. And other builders who are working on theirs. Kyle Feckler, you're working on a Westwind 1124 checklist book. Well, I happen to have a real Westwind 1124 checklist book, like right, well, it's a little buried, but it's right there. So if you have any questions, or maybe I could take it and make a photocopy for you and email it to you, just ask me. Dave Cat 1458. You like my strategy of going into the non-major airport. Thank you. I do like to do things a little different. I just like to be where I have air traffic control. Fortunately tonight, I do not have any air traffic control. Getting a little slow, so I'm going to turn the auto throttles off and take over manually. Star switches are set to flight. We are on track. And we're in the flight levels, so we need to put the altimeter to standard. Okay, continuing on. Warkey? I don't know how to say that name. But looks like you purchased yourself some desktop aviators. Use them in good health. I hope you enjoy them and they help your Simpit. I really like the desktop aviator products. As you can see, I have several components. I have the brake handle, the landing gear selector, the GPS, and the switch array. And they seem like a small-time operation. I feel like I picture somebody doing these in their basement, but they're really good. They ship quickly, and everything looks real good, and everything works properly. Dave Cat again with another comment about the River Visual DCA gets another sim pilot. Yeah, I messed that approach up. You're commenting on my Friday night ops in Washington, which was the Northeast Corridor video. Yeah, I did screw that approach up, and that was mostly because I didn't disengage the auto throttles on the approach, and the airplane was holding 180 knots when I was trying to get down to 156 knots, and I kept pulling on the spoiler handle to dump that lift, but every time I did, all it did was run the engines up again. So I wasn't very smart on that one, and that showed. But you know, look, we make mistakes, and I'm not going to try and hide them. George Soto, you were the comment about the lag. It says maybe I should lower my settings because it makes it difficult to control the plane with the lag. The issue with the lag, my system runs really well for the most part. It's when I go into airports with scenery that hurts my frame rates and creates some lag, but that's not a major issue for me because I can go into plenty of airports that have scenery without a lot of lag. What it is that sim seems to slow me down a lot, and the more crowded it is, the more lag it creates for me. I don't know exactly why, and especially going into the combination of a busy airport with scenery. And that's what happened to me kind of going into DCA. I don't have the DCA scenery, but I have scenery in that area, and that, I don't know, it just was hurting me. But sometimes I have lag, sometimes I don't. I don't really know what it's all about, but if you go through my videos, you will see it in some, and other videos you won't. Let's see, there was one who commented about the camera views. Where did that go? Someone wanted to see the instruments. I don't know where that comment went. I wish I could find that. But I've tried a couple different camera angles. Alright, we're leveling off here, so I need to get the speed under control. Right now, one of the suggestions was a headrest view, and I have done that in the past. I forget which video it is, but I have a couple of different setups that I do, and I'll try and show you, but it's hard to because the camera is on it. Let me disconnect here. Okay, so the view right here is this setup pinched to the chair. And then the further back view is this tripod I have, which gives you this perspective. Take this away. Sometimes, and I'm using a GoPro, so one of the problems is I don't really know how it's going to look until the video is done. I'm sure being closer would be better. You know, it's hard for me to determine what's the best. This is kind of the headset perspective, but it cuts off a lot of the center pedestal. I thought back here was better because it gave you more of a complete picture, but I know sometimes like the GPS monitor washes out and you can't really see it, and these instruments are kind of small, so unless I have a camera up close to them, you really can't see what they're doing. And my biggest concern is always being able to see the main monitors. I might try and mess with having two cameras, but I need to get another audio connection. Otherwise, one camera won't have any audio because all the sound is in the headsets. There's no outside sound, so it doesn't bother my wife when I'm flying. So, you know, you guys tell me which camera view is better. One other thing I have tried is the point of view perspective. That It's never my favorite. Sorry, the cable just got caught on the microphone. This is not my favorite because after wearing this for more than a half hour, it becomes uncomfortable. And the movement is kind of, you know, I don't know, nauseating. But maybe I'll try putting a camera up close and then also having one set back. If I get that second audio cable, that might work out. You know, future things. I just haven't done anything about it yet. Oh, so I'm going to change up our view. I just got a cramp. This is the tripod view. Sometimes I don't know how much I should tilt the camera because it does capture so much. The auto throttle's on, so I'll pull them back a little. I wish I knew what the best settings were so that you could see all the monitors clearly, see the GPS clearly. And I know the only way to really do that is just to get the camera much closer to it. But the closer the camera gets, the less of a full picture you get. Turn the cabin sign off, we're level. And we're not very far away, only 96 more miles to go. I think I've addressed most of the most interesting questions I thought that would be helpful. Oh, no, there was one other. Someone was asking about the instrument panels. Let me find that one. Oh, well, two more questions. Walkie commented, great job on the process of building a sim. You have a transponder, but you said you still have to use the mouse. Could I explain, please? That is one of the issues he's having. Well, I'm not the most advanced computer person, so I have a hard time with programming. So I'm restricted to the realm of things I do know, and I'm using Squawk Box to, no ATCs. I'm using Squawk Box to connect to that sim, which I'm flying on right now. And my transponder is a GoFlight module down here. The transponder is this GoFlight module, but there's no ident button. And when you program this, it doesn't give you the option to have an ident button. And in Flight Sim's button programming, there is no option for ident. So I have to use the mouse on this little screen that Squawk Box gives you that shows the transponder's mode and activity, where you can put it normal, standby, and give a flash or ident, which I keep down here in the left corner, as much out of the way as possible. Also, when I'm not on a frequency, but when I click, I will see the transmit light come on. That buzz you hear when I press the PTT means I'm not tuned into a frequency. I'm on Unicom 122.8. 96 miles, I think or 77 miles. I think we're gonna start down to 10. At 2,200 feet a minute. So when a controller asks me to ident, my only option is to go to the mouse and click the ident button, because I don't have the ability to program any of my physical buttons to be the ident. Someone did tell me there was a way, and I think it's through FSUIPC, but I still have not even bothered to take a look because it's such a minor issue. I mean, it would be cool, and if I have a Sunday or something where I can sit down and toy with it, I will. I just haven't yet, and I feel like every time I have free time, I don't get to that. Oh, sorry, I'm just pulling up my approach charts and stuff for Barnes Regional Airport in Connecticut. We're 67 miles. Let me hurry up and get to this other question. This is the final question. It was asking about the panels and the SciTech panels. Here it is. I found it. Tom Reiser. I hope I'm pronouncing your names correctly. I mean, well, it might not be Reiser spelled with an E. You're spelling it with an A. Reiser? Well, I'm going to say Reiser because that's what it looks like to me. I'm sorry if I didn't say your name right. You commented, do the panels need to be mounted with the supplied stands? I see that the top of the FIPs are canted away from the viewer. Is that for better viewing? Well, they are kind of canted away, but that's also how the real panel of an airplane is. And yes, that is for easier viewing. So, the cable's caught on the stand. I can't fix it right now. There we go. Everything's missing. Come on. Catching literally everything. Okay. So the instrument panels, they are on this stand. No, you don't have to use it, but it is really nice and convenient. And that was one of the very smart things SciTech did when they made these panels, is they made them modular. So you could attach as many of them together as you want. So you could start with one and grow to 12 like I have here. But they're just simply connected by these little thumb screws. You don't need any tools whatsoever. Oops, I hit the button on there. And I can take these out. This one's going to be hard to get to because there's 4 of them there. But you take these screws out. And that's all there is to this. They're just these little flat panels that you could mount to anything with a little USB plug behind it. Boy, that is stiff. Why can't I get that out? Oh, and now I dropped it. So they are just these flat little panels with 4 screw holes, and you could mount them to anything. They even actually come with this little stand, so you could just stand them on a desk somewhere, you know, by themselves. I don't have enough hands. You just plug them in the USB, and this is the little case that it is on, where you can stack them together. And then you just put it back in place, and I'm gonna run the little screw in it. See if I can see. I need a light. I gotta find the little hole. There it is. Got it in. I gotta make this the airspeed. I'll do the opposite corner. Sure it grabs. Oh, I just turned off the autopilot with my arm. Oh, messing around in the cockpit can be dangerous. Just tighten them all down a little bit. They don't have to be super tight. But that is, I hope you're able to see that. I don't know what that's going to look like. I feel like I was a little bit of a mess. Oh, we're only 30 miles from our destination, so I really need to slow us down. And I will set the camera back up. I'll go back to this clamp thing I was using. Come on, you little bastard. Alright, we are getting very close. Select the ILS. Only 2-1, or correction, 2-0. It's clearly changed. One of the things I hate, that a lot of the runways have changed over time and it doesn't change on the sim. Alright, so I'll pull up runway 21. Hope this camera angle's okay. Or 20, it's runway 20 now. 204 is going to be the approach course. Activate vectors to final from our present position. Going to go down to 6,000. I'm going to put 190 on there so it's slowing down. The frequency is going to be 111.9, so I'll tune that into the nav1. Missed approach is a climb to 1,300, then a climbing right turn to 4,000 direct Chester VOR, and hold, continue climb in hold to 4,000 feet. VO is the Barnes VOR, which we're only 12.5 miles from. Crossing altitude's 3,500, so I'll descend down to that. And minimums are going to be... Oh, there's a high ILS on this one, so the minimums are going to be... 300 above the ground. Airport elevation's 270 feet. So 570 above the ground will be my decision height. Oh, there was one viewer, I don't recall who it was, who said that they could tell I was a professional pilot, which may be the highest compliment I've ever received, but I'm not a professional pilot. I'm just a private pilot, but I do try my hardest to fly on a professional level. We're below 10, landing lights and pumps are on. Marker beacons on. So I appreciate whoever wrote that comment. I actually couldn't find it again, so I don't know, maybe they deleted it even. Yeah, or I just don't remember which video it was commented on, and I don't have the time to sift through and find it. But thank you. And thank you again to all the subscribers. And I hope to continue to grow this channel because I have enjoyed it. And despite YouTube making it harder on me, I'm going to continue making my videos. So I'm looking for the airport. It should be up here around my 2-3 o'clock. I see another airport, but that is not my destination. I think it's a military base. I don't know which base that is. That might not be. I'm not sure. we're getting real close here. Switch to, I'll put the, oops. No, I turned the wrong knob. What was the final course? Was 204. And we wanted to turn the heading bug to our present heading so I could switch off of the GPS. Turn that off, and now I can see the ILS, the localizer and glide slope have both picked up. We're way above the glide slope. I want to turn us towards the airport. Really do need to dump some speed here. Just use the air brakes to bleed off some speed, get down to approach. We're flying through the localizer because I've spent too much time talking and not enough time planning the arrival. But now speed's checked, 10 degrees of flaps. Is going to be more like a teardrop approach. You see the airport. I don't see it, but we're going to be landing. Star switches are set to continuous. Oh, I see the lights. We're going to Wezzy. Should be at 2,200 feet. Make sure the spoilers were retracted. We're going to intercept the localizer in a minute from the other side. Airport's in sight. Clouds are a little low here. Now that we're below the glide slope, I can turn the approach mode on. And when it captures the localizer, the heading light will go out here and here. And when it captures the glide slope, the altitude light here and here will both go out. And speed check's gonna put 20 degrees out. Disregard the gear horn. Alright, see the localizer has captured and the lights have gone out. We are still above the glide slope, so it did not capture. So I'm going to go back to nav mode, which is still tracking the localizer. Alright, speed checks, gear down. And yaw damps off, flight director's off, we got the outer marker, we're going to transition to a visual. Autopilot's disengaged, and auto throttles are disengaged. Speed checks, full flaps.
Don't sink.
Wind gusts
Don't sink.
happening.
Don't sink. 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 Don't sink.
We're a little high here. Get us down.
Sink rate. Sink rate.
Might get a
Sink rate.
light warning here.
Sink rate. Sink rate. Sink rate.
Yep, there it is.
Pull up. Sink
Ground
rate.
terrain and sink warning because I was diving for the runway here, but we're good. We're stable now. Right on the mark. Spoilers deployed. Reversers engaged. 90 knots. And 60 knots. Reverser stowed. And here we are at Barnes Municipal, Springfield, Connecticut. All right, spoilers retracted. Flaps are coming up. Turn the star switches off. Heater heat and de-ice can get shut off. Pumps can get shut off. Marker beacons off. We'll exit here on Echo. Lights and strobes are off. And we'll just take this into the ramp. We were parking. What's the name of the FBO here? Rectrix. Up here on Bravo and a left on Alpha. Alright, well that is my first Q&A for 2018. Hope I answered any of your questions. As I said, please comment, please tell me what you want to see. And I hope you like and subscribe. And until next time, happy landings.